Debbie Davis. Mush Davis.
Here.
Christie Harden. Kelly Morgan. John Kipinger.
Here.
Samantha Trent. Hey guys, can we be quiet, please?
We do have a quorum, and Commissioner Bowman was speaking with someone there who called roll, who is present. Next is approval of reports of officers. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Russ Davis, second by Samantha Trantham. Any discussion? I'll go back to it. Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Kelly Morgan. John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
And I'm gonna go back to the one I just missed. Next is approval of minutes of previous meetings. I have a motion to approve and
Motion
approve.
to approve.
Second.
Motion by Trantham, second by Russ Davis. Discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman. Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Kelly Morgan. John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Next, we have a motion passes approval of notaries. Did we have any handed out tonight?
No. There's these two.
Two, we
Should
have
have
two.
two.
We have Christopher Lewis and is that Melanie Littlegreen?
Megan
Megan,
Littlegreen.
I'm sorry. Megan Littlegreen. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Mush Davis, second by Cranford. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Kelly Morgan. John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Motion passes. Next is budget amendments. We have, under 101, we have 43 through 50. Is that correct? Is that what everybody has? 43 through 50? Okay. And then we have one handed out tonight from the road department. So we would have to these. This will be number 43, 56500-499, library, 56500-432, library books and media. Total on that is $500, going into 56500-355, library travel for $500. Number 44, 39,000, undesignated fund balance, 7,675. Going into 56500-103 and 56500-212. This is library assistant and library Medicare for $7,675. Number 45, 54490-425 EMA gasoline, 1,405, and to 54490-499 EMA other supplies, $1,405. Number 46, okay, this is, you've got multiple, in the amount of $49,947. We're into mobiles for the same amount. This is 101. Let's see, what department is this? Sheriff's office.
Yeah.
This is just cleanup, the sheriff here?
Sir. Yeah.
This is all just cleanup, is
Yes,
it?
sir. Yeah.
All in the move for the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, number 47, 39,000 undesignated for $3,000. That's going to be 51800-335. County buildings and maintenance for $3,000. Number 48 is 34,510, reserved for jail workhouse, $10,412. It's going to corrections buildings maintenance, $10,412, $421. What we just made it there, so. Number 49, 34,520, restricted for Chancery, 5,000. Going into 53,400, 709, data processing, 5,000. Number 50, 34,510, reserved ROD, 2,385, 51,600, 709, ROD data processing, 2,385. And that's all under 101. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion by Ms. Davis, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Christie,
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Harden. Any questions? I've got one on number 44. That's undesignated fund, I was going to library assistance and Medicare. Is that a miss that we had on the budget, or that's not an addition, is it, Teresa?
It's not addition, it was a miscalculation on the original hours that we used to budget.
Okay,
Lori and I worked it out.
okay.
And I have a question, on number 45, at the top this says no operable EMA vehicle, they just don't have one at all?
He doesn't have a fuel card that he uses anymore. So that's the money he had left in there. We had this on here a couple months ago, if y'all remember.
I'm just doing it, so I'm just trying to remember what we don't budget this line. Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan. Yes. John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Franklin.
Motion passes. Next, we are still on budget amendments, and this is a 131 budget amendment. The road department, both source of funds, it's out of 131-39,000 undesignated fund balance. $251,006.35. And it's going into the lines listed. It's out of their own fund balance. And it equals even. Do I have a motion on budget amendment number 23-3 under 131?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Mush, second by Debbie Davis. Any discussion?
I have a comment. That bottom line there, the 194,536.75, that is the Smyrna Road Railroad crossing, that's been completed, and that's the money to pay for that vehicle.
Now, which line was that?
The very bottom, it's the
Oh,
68,000
okay, I see.
dash
791.
791. So that's the grant that's paying for, the railroad crossing at Smyrna.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman. Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan. Yes. John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Franklin. Yes.
Motion passes. Number 5, I am moving to next month, did get everything completed to present on the Purchasing Law 57 Act. Number 6 is Campbell Cove HOAs, and that's Commissioner Franklin.
Tom Brown, and I am the president of the Campbell Cove Lake Property Owners Association. Right up the road here, and our houses ring the Campbell Cove Lake, which provides drinking water for this part of the county. A couple weeks ago, we had a little brush fire incident in our area, and it was significant enough that we called 911 and we got a fire response. And first off, I just want to thank our Copper Basin Fire Department, represented by Marty Centercliff here tonight, for an excellent, timely response. That was the good part. We had outstanding effort by volunteers who showed up quick and did a professional job. But the ensuing conversations that took place as a result of that response, and a meeting that we had down here at the fire station about a week later, shed a light, at least for us, on what we think is a very serious situation in regards to funding and the health of our fire protection service here, at least in this part of the county. When we started talking to Marty about who was it that actually responded to our fire, probably 3/4 of the guys who responded that day, Marty, were not Tennessee residents. And that's pretty typical, according to what Marty had shared with us. So we have guys, volunteers from North Carolina and Georgia, leaving their jobs, driving to Polk County to respond to a fire to protect property and lives that are outside of their jurisdiction. Now that's wonderful that they're willing to do that. But one of the reasons that they're doing that, and they're also coming with equipment quite a bit of the time as well, is because our equipment is in such bad condition that it won't run to those fires sometimes, and also won't respond to fires across state lines where they could go help those other two states. In the last couple weeks, I've taken it upon myself to do some research into, okay, how's the rest of the country dealing with this situation? How is this unfolding across the country? And we're facing the same problem everybody else is that has a volunteer fire department. We have rapidly increasing cost, and we have decreasing volunteerism in our local community. And in this case, I'm discounting the guys who are, or volunteers who come from outside of our state. We can't count on that. We are not their responsibility. So what I'm asking or suggesting is that instead of just rolling into this next budget cycle and maybe adding a little bit here or subtracting a little bit there, that we take an opportunity to take a holistic view of fire protection in Polk County. And I ask you tonight to refer this to your appropriate committee, and let's do some work on this. Let's take a look at some of the options that may be available to us as a county to better deal with fire protection services. I mean, we've got a sheriff's department, and sheriff, if he's still here, I am not being critical of his department or his budget in any way, but we're putting millions of dollars into sheriff department. We're putting, what, about $750,000 into a EMS contract every year, roughly. And we're putting, what, 150 into fire, roughly. If that.
No, it's more than that.
Not a lot more. And
You do both sides of the county.
Yeah, we look at the whole
Yeah.
county, yeah. You're
Right.
looking at one side. Yep, right.
But we have in my opinion, we have underfunded fire, at least on this side of the county, for so long. And we have dug ourselves into a hole that is so deep, we don't even want to look at it. It's scary to think how deep this hole is. For us, we have trucks running around that are worn out, that are on unsafe tires. We have guys responding to fires who are in suits that are expired way past their expiration date. That's inviting a liability issue down the road. And so what I'm asking again is, let's not just do the status quo. Let's take a look and see if there's some other way that we as Polk County can relook fire. Just as an example, Tennessee law, I've been looking at Georgia too much. Tennessee law allows the county to implement a countywide fire department and then break the county into districts. And those districts then get to decide if they want to levy a fire tax upon themselves. That way, we're pushing that decision down to our lower level to where we as homeowners in this district can make a decision if we want to do something different about funding our fire protection service. But we can't do that by ourselves. We have to have the county, to take those decisions. And I know nobody's ready to make that decision here tonight. That's why I'm asking you to refer this to your appropriate committee so we can dig in on this and do some more work and come up with a better solution. But again, I want to thank all of the volunteers from all 3 states who constantly leave their jobs to come protect us. And we are in full support of Copper Basin Fire Department in their budget request for this upcoming year. But we want to do more. So that's all I got to say for tonight. I thank you for your time.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
You mentioned the insurance number 10 rating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all know, at least we've learned the hard way, what could have happened was our fire insurance rate score, you know, the ISO score, was headed to a number 10 last summer. So if that would have happened, potentially our homeowners insurance rates would have exploded. All of that money would have left the county and we still would not have had a better fire department. Let's not let that happen. Let's do the things that we have to do now, get ahead of that, because if we're gonna pay either higher insurance rates or higher taxes, I'd way rather pay higher taxes and keep the money local and have a better fire department than just making some insurance company rich that's still not gonna give me a fire department. So that's another big piece of this. So, do I, any of my other Campbell Cove people here tonight have anything else to add?
I do.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, one of the things that I spoke with Marty on last one day, and, one of the things is, it was rated, or rated for a 10, we got it back down to a 6, I believe, and there's a couple of things that may happen. If they don't happen, then we hit it back to a 10. One of the things is, we have, as far as I know, a single fire hydrant to cover our entire lane. If there's 2, I can't find the other. And the one that we do have is broken and laying on its side, okay? And so they had to prop it up. It has a 3-inch pipe, I believe, and it's supposed to have at least a 6-inch by the ISO 6-inch. So it's not valid to be even used as a pipe line for water. They had to go in and jimmy rig it to get it to work correctly. That's one thing. I know my insurance went up about $900 this past week. And I don't know if it was caused by anything else. I don't know if it's by rain or whatever it is. But it went up $900 in 1 year. I've never had it go up that much. So I don't know what else went on with that, but it went up that much. So 52 volunteers, I think that's what you said, Marty. Most of those guys are out of state, like you said. We are in a bad condition. They told me it would take $650,000 to get a brand new fire engine. He also told me that to get a used fire engine, if they could find one, was somewhere around $40,000 to $70,000, I think, what the numbers were. And that's what he's looking to try to do. You know, he's trying to explore all kinds of opportunities, like maybe having a yard sale, or maybe some kind of fundraisers and stuff like that. So he's working his butt off to try to make things happen. It really is, but we really need the support of the budget and some of those people around in this area. It don't affect just me. It doesn't affect just Tom. It affects the entire county. I did a little bit of research on FEMA, some of the grants that were written. One of the grants that was written about 5 years ago was for West Polk County. And I haven't seen any grants that would have been written for East Polk or for our fire department. So one of the things he's trying to do is get somebody to do a grant to help get something from FEMA or from the federal government or whatever. So there's things he's trying to do. I just wanna make sure that he's not just sitting, that he's really working hard to try to make this happen, and we really need you guys' support. I don't know about any other facts, Marty, but, I just wanted to throw out a few things there that you and I spoke about last week. And thank you very much for your time.
We are gonna move on, we do appreciate y'all being here tonight, but we do have a rather lengthy agenda, so we've got some things coming up. So next is Oakwood Fire Hall, Commissioner Brooks.
That's mine, I about lost my voice. Is everybody pleased to hear that? We'll get the bill meeting together, next Tuesday or Thursday, I'll call everybody. We need to meet there and look at getting it finished up too. It's close, but still needs some work, and it's also about to affect everybody's ISO rate in that area, so, we got the money, we need to try to get it finished. I'll call everybody on building meeting next day or two, see what day next week you can be there. See you.
All right, moving on. Next is District 4 Commission, vacancy appointments. And I put that on there because by code, I'm supposed to send out the notice to the paper, which was done. There is a vacancy, in District 4. The notice was put in last Thursday, and that's the official run time for the paper. There have been applications taken, and I think everybody should have a copy of all those. I'm taking nominations from the District 4 Commission. That's where the vacancy's from. You have a
I do have a
nomination.
When all this came down and we got our, phone calls and our letter of resignation, I think we were all a little shocked, hated to lose Joe. I got lots of phone calls, lots of good, notes, texts about several in the community that was there, looked over them. I want everybody to know I was not influenced in any way. The decision that I made to make a nomination on was me only, me, the good Lord, my husband, so, I just want that to be known. And so my nomination for tonight is Mr. Tim Reimer.
Can I make a comment before we, do voting?
Absolutely, I do need to clarify one thing real quick. When Joe resigned, the simple majority went from 6 to 5, and that's where we're standing at tonight's meeting. Check that with CTAS, and that is the correct number for simple majority. The people will be voted on as nominated in that order of nomination. Right, go ahead, Doug.
I'm gonna say this before I vote. This is just my personal opinion. I don't feel like this is gonna be the most unbiased that we can sit on this commission. Just sitting here for the past 5 years, just knowing how much stuff is done under our bid limit, which is why we tabled a lot of stuff. We were gonna table it to change our bid limit because some things have happened. And I feel like, and this is nothing personal, this is just me taking care of my district. I will not hurt my district in any way, so I feel like with my vote, if I would've voted, it would hurt my district because like I said, I feel like it's the most unbiased that there was out of all of them that we got, just judging by what I know from the past 5 years, so. I just wanted to say it's not personal, it's just me taking care of my district.
Well, I wanna add to my opinion is in there too, not that it's worth anything. There's been some of the best candidates that have turned in for this that could ever happen. I don't think there's been a bad one. This is when you don't wanna be a commissioner, cause this sucks to the fullest. Cause you are gonna make somebody mad, and there ain't no way to keep running. And it's unfair to us for this to have to happen, but we checked on a special election, even though I didn't wanna spend the money, I would've voted for it because I hate doing this that bad. The only good thing about this is they will only be in a little over a year. So all candidates that have put in for this, please run and let the people put who they want in. Because what we do is nothing. That we're 9 of us now. And for us to have to speak for everybody in Polk County, it sucks. But it's the law, it's thrown at us, we ain't got no choice. The school board, we've been through this with the school board twice, I think, haven't we? And all I'm gonna say is, it is 4th district, it's not my district, so I am respecting what our 4th district commissioner is going with. It's not a law that we have to do that, by no means. Everybody's entitled to vote as they want to. But if it was my district, I would ask for support of my candidate if I had one that really I wanted, and I might get it and I might not. But that's where I'm at, and I just want everybody to know, and please, all of you that I've had some phone calls, you're great people. You great people. So get out there and run this next time. Beat us, you know. Let the people put you in.
I need to add something to that, because even if I did ask for support, I expect everybody to do the most ethical thing that there is. Regardless if I ask you to support or not, you need to do exactly how your heart feels and what you know.
I just said that.
It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be because someone says,
Yeah.
please support my candidate. You're supposed to do the most ethical thing that there is. And everything that we know, it is what it is.
And I'll just add to that, I have difficulty voting for people that I don't even know.
I don't know none of these.
You know, and
No,
if
no.
I don't know you, I have difficulty supporting you. I mean, you think of it on election time, you gonna vote for people you ain't got a clue of. I ain't. So, you know, with that being said, y'all might be wonderful people, but if I don't know you, I'm out.
Shane, my problem is I know every one of them. They're all good.
That's gonna be another whole other issue.
I mean,
Just
honestly.
luckily I don't.
Well, I kinda like it that I don't, but I know it's our job to vote. So that's why I'm just leaving it with the good Lord and saying, whoa, let's, you know, we gotta do it. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what Samantha's saying. We've all gotta vote the way we feel.
Right.
And if everybody, we're not gonna make everybody happy. We're not gonna make each other happy.
No,
But it is
it's
our
no
job.
disrespect to anybody.
Right.
And it's not personal.
Yeah, but it is our job to vote. Now that we cannot refuse that.
Right.
We even cleared it one more time. And I mean, it is our job. So, you know, if we back out of it, we're not doing our job. So, anyway, but that's all I'm saying. And just like I say, good luck to everybody, and just get out there and run the next time. If you want to do this, your heart's in it, you go for it. And you let the people put you there.
But remember, if you get on this board, you'll have votes like this you have to attend to.
Yeah, it'll be you the next time. So, you know, good luck to you.
One thing I know, I don't wanna hold us up much longer, but Nathan, I asked Nathan to come up tonight. Where's Nathan at?
You're right.
Okay, I just want, since we've all said this, and I hadn't tried to wait to throw you under the bus here, I'm gonna go ahead and call on you and ask you did contact the state, the Labor
Yes.
Commission, just to go back to what we've been
TCA code
saying.
5-1-104 rules, which states in brief, because I'm not gonna read this, vacancies in county offices required by the Constitution of Tennessee or by any statutory provision to be filled by the people shall be filled by the county legislative body, and any person so appointed shall serve until its successor is elected at the next general election as defined in 2-1-104.
And I also asked you about the ones that had applied, sent an application in, and asked. if
They are
qualifications.
all voters in good standing, residents of Polk County, and live in District 4.
Did have the one withdrawal, correct?
We did have one withdrawal, but, So I have a nomination from District 1 Commission, District 4 Commission. Do I have nominations from any other district? Anybody else on the commission have a nomination?
Yeah, Christie.
Any others? Okay. Roll call, and this will be roll call for Tim Reimer, first nominated, and the simple majority is 5. Roll
Keith
call.
Parker,
Pass.
Shane Bowman,
Pass.
Greg Brooks,
Pass.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden,
Yes.
Kelly Morgan,
Pass.
John Pippinger,
Yes.
and Samantha Trentham.
Pass.
1, 2, 3, 4 yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no. Or pass, I'm sorry.
Okay, that nomination fails. Okay, next up, this will be roll call for Chris Peak. Does he, go by Chris or Christopher? Chris, okay.
Where's Chris? Okay, make sure
Roll call, please.
Keith Parker,
Yes.
Shane Bowman,
Pass.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
No.
Mush Davis,
No.
Christie Harden,
No.
Kelly Morgan,
Yes.
John Pippinger,
Pass.
Samantha Trantham.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4 yes, 3 no, 2 pass.
Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations for county commission? No, it takes 5.
Yep. Dead dog.
Commissioner Pippinger,
Yes, sir.
I would remind the commission they've got 120 days from the date of the resignation, so from April the 10th to fill the vacancy.
I think we should do some more stuff. I mean, when you give us 4 days to vote on these people, and it's nothing personal, Chris, I'm laying that out there, nothing of what sort, I just don't know you. Come, let's talk, let's go have a conversation. 4 days, I have not a clue who you are.
If I could,
Same thing with Mr. Reimer, wherever you are.
if I could, I mean, I concur with every one of them, because it would be hard pressed to make a decision
Yeah.
for them, however.
I mean, this affects the whole county, not just
And
me.
so, trust me, I concur with what you're saying, totally understand,
Yeah.
because like you said, we don't know each other, we don't know nothing about
No.
each other.
Hey,
The
no.
complication that you
I've heard
feel
good things,
is not more,
you know,
and that's all.
but I want to evaluate for my own.
I understand.
The only problem that y'all are gonna get cheated out of when we do this is one more month of representation, one more month, and that's one of them, and that's what tires me up.
Right.
But, but hey, go with it, I mean, I don't care, just, it's just, I wanted y'all to get representation going on fully,
And we'll have to be one hand down on budget.
but, I know everybody, everybody's got a valid point.
So can we, if we're gonna put this off until next month or 60 days or however long it's gonna be, can we not go through an interview process? Give them a chance to speak, talk, because, I mean, there has been certain things that's went on in the last week that's probably not the clearest. So, I think to be fair for all of the candidates that's here, that took their time to come up here, I think that that's what we owe them. Cause how many candidates do we have here? Cody, Danny, Tim, I don't know you.
I'm Michael Powers.
Nice to meet you. Chris, so we've got just about everybody here, and I think that's fair.
I don't know if anybody's new, though, how you do it.
The code says that if you do not do it at the time that it is set, that you have to go back through, we'll have to put it back in the paper.
Right,
That is,
all over again.
right.
and you're gonna have to open back, if you're gonna go with applications,
You open
you're
it back
gonna have
up,
to open it back up for the applications as well.
correct.
I wanted to put it in a hat and drawings out.
Yeah, she did, I had to.
To me,
When are we-
that's as fair as it gets.
When are we gonna do interviews, how are we
Well,
gonna do
don't make the hat.
interviews? I mean,
That would be-
And let some little
I'd say
kid
we
drop a
could
name.
start it before the meeting next month, if we wanted to.
Cause you're looking at budget and everything, and we
We
got,
don't have to have budget on the same.
yeah, but you've got lots, I mean, you know, we've got jobs, I don't mean to be ugly.
I mean, we've all got jobs, but I mean, it is our due diligence.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't just affect District Four, it affects the whole county, so.
I think we can do a meeting.
It's fine, I don't think it's gonna change anything myself, but hey, I'm with you.
I mean, we
It
may
doesn't
be right
matter.
back in the same boat.
Right. It's
Okay.
just, I don't even know who I'm gonna vote for on election day half the time till I get there. So, you know, I mean, but I'm not knocking it. I mean, I know what you're saying. And a lot of people, it may be an important move for, you know, for certain people.
But I will say, John, and you talked to her too, but, Heather did say that, if we don't vote to accept Joe's resignation, he could come back and rescind it until there's
Actually,
somebody
10
in that
days.
office.
Sorry, 10 days.
So,
10 days from the time he turns it in.
well, that's what her email said to me, until we put somebody in office who can rescind it.
Okay, I was told 10 days. And
I
matter of
can
fact,
pull the
think
email up,
10 days.
but I don't know what the big deal about just accepting it.
State never did find an answer, so.
That statement did find answer.
So, make the choice, I don't care, he can rescind it, I'm fine with Joe staying on board, so. I'm just putting that out there, that wasn't Heather's email.
So, the chair does not have the power to send this on because it's on the agenda the way the code reads. It takes a motion from this commission to set it for the next meeting.
I'll make a motion, we set it for the next meeting.
Okay, I have a motion by Mush,
Second.
second by Franklin. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
That is moved to the main meeting. All right. Next is a resolution to adopt 2023 Polk County Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan. That's the county executive, correct?
Yes, sir. This was, something other that's been worked on in the office with a lot of our agencies. I know Doug Collins is with Ducktown, City of Copper Hill, City of Benton, and all of us, we've had different work sessions as we work with FEMA and KEMA to bring in a new hazard mitigation plan for the county. And so this is part of that process for this county legislative body to accept the resolution so we can move forward in our updating of our hazard mitigation plan. You want me to read this, John?
Yep.
What will it be numbered as?
This will be 4-1.
Resolution of Polk County to adopt the 2023 Polk County Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan. Whereas the participating jurisdiction of Polk County have worked together to develop a strategy known as the Polk County Hazard Mitigation Plan to improve disaster assistance in the planning area. Whereas the Federal Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, DMA 2000, pursuant 44 CFR Part 201, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, require communities to adopt and approve a hazard mitigation plan in order to be eligible to receive pre-disaster and post-disaster federal funding for mitigation purposes. And whereas the participating jurisdiction has participated in the hazard mitigation plan by the forming of the Mitigation Plan Committee, the MPC, and whereas the MPC recommends the formal adoption of this Polk County Hazard Mitigation Plan, dated 4/20/2023 by the passing of this resolution. And now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Polk County, Tennessee in regular session and assembled. Section 1, the Board of Commissioners of Polk County, Tennessee hereby approve and adopt the updated hazard mitigation plan and its entirety with the project adopted by the MPC and agrees to be governed by the hazard mitigation plan dated 4/20/2023, attached hereto and incorporated. Section 2, Board of Commissioners of Polk County, Tennessee authorizes the appropriate participating officials to pursue funding opportunities for the implementation of proposal designated therein, and will, upon the receipts of such funding or other necessary resources, seek to implement the actions contained in the hazard mitigation plan. Section 3, the Board of Commissioners of Polk County, Tennessee will continue to cooperate and participate in the hazard mitigation planning process, holding regular meetings, include reporting progress required to FEMA and the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, and the MPC, adopted on this the 20th day of April 2023. And I'd like to add one other thing, Roy Jean was in on some of those as well with our county road department. So this was a lot of us that had worked together before this came about with the direction of FEMA.
Do I have a motion? Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Mush, second by Trample for 4-1-23. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Hey, Robbie, can you say all that again? I didn't quite hear it.
Get your copy. Get your copy.
Next is, resolution to request unclaimed balance of accounts remitted by Polk County and its agencies to the treasurer of the state of Tennessee under Unclaimed Property Act. That's, County Executive Act.
So myself and County Attorney Eric Brooks, we've been looking into this, and you can see that there is a sum of money that's out there in the unclaimed portion. The county can take this money, we can do with this money. Eric recommended for it to be allocated in such a way that it would always be able to be shown. If somebody does come and claim this money, they first of all have to prove it through to the state, then it would come back through to us. So it's not just so simple that somebody comes walking into the office and says, I need my $500 from whatever. They have to prove it through the state before it does to be reimbursed back. But it is able to be used, but it was Eric that did recommend that it, be in the budget, kind of be set aside, but it can be used until, if somebody does come and claim it.
Then we'd have to give it back and we'd done spend it.
Well, but. Correct, but, it's not being claimed, and it takes a lengthy process according to Eric. It's not something, it takes a while. They have to prove all these things to the state. Like I said, they just don't come
I
along
get
in with a
that,
birth
but we've done
certificate.
spend it when they come through the door to claim it.
Is it gonna be set up like a reserve?
Correct, it'll be set up almost like a reserve account.
So you
it'll
really
be-
can't spend it.
Well, you can if need be. It
We've
can
done
be.
this before.
It has been done, it's been about 5 years ago, if I'm not
It is
mistaken, that Eric
useful
said that it was done, so.
It would have to come through a for us to say,
It's just a
okay,
long-term
so.
sale.
Like I said, they can't walk in with a birth certificate and say, hey, I need my money, write me a check right now. They gotta go through the state, it takes a while to get it back. Can we read that one, y'all? Listen close, Tom. Resolution 4/2/23. Resolution to request unclaimed balance of accounts remitted by Polk County, Tennessee, and or its agencies to the treasurer of the state of Tennessee under the Unclaimed Property Act, whereas PCA code 66-29-146C provides the municipality or county in Tennessee may request payment for the unclaimed balance of funds reported and remitted on behalf of their local government and its agencies if it exceeds 100 or less, and appropriation shared to the cost and administering of the program. Whereas Polk County, Tennessee, and or its agencies have remitted unclaimed accounts to the treasurer of the state of Tennessee, and in accordance with the Uniform Unclaimed Property Act, whereas Polk County, Tennessee agrees to meet all the requirements of TCA and TCA 66-29-101, and to accept liability for future claims against accounts and funds paid into it. Whereas it is agreed that Polk County, Tennessee will retain a sufficient amount to ensure prompt payment of allowed claims will be the balance of the funds will be deposited in the county general fund. Now therefore be it resolved by this legislative body in session and assembled, that the County Commission of Polk County, Tennessee requests the Treasurer of the State of Tennessee pay the unclaimed balance of funds to Polk County, Tennessee in accordance with the provision of TCA Code 66-29-146C and a list of remittance made on behalf of Polk County, Tennessee and its agencies is identified in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated hereon by this reference, and be it further resolved that this resolution take effect from this day after its passage in the public welfare on this, the 20th day of April, 2023.
Do I have a motion to approve 4/2/23?
Motion approved.
Second.
Have a motion by Melissa Davis, second by Debbie Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker. Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next is the, 40 by 40 building, and this was a bid. Sheriff, where you at? You had, a set of money for this 40 by 40 building, and I think the bids had, if I understood right from talking to you and then at the bid, opening, is this, have you got a recommendation on the bids?
I recommend it's over, all the bids were over our budget for the grant. We're gonna get with the grant coordinators and move some money around later and rebid and see where it comes out, but I don't wanna accept the bid. I don't want to accept the bids because we don't have the money, unless y'all want to give some money.
As y'all know, any bid that comes in has to be either accepted or rejected. Therefore, with the sheriff's recommendation, do I have a motion to reject the bids?
I made the motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Trenton, thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
Second by Kelly. She beat you there.
Good.
Y'all been, I mean,
Good.
damn.
Y'all are quick on the draw.
I appreciate it. Okay, so any discussion on this? And the reason was that the amount of the bids were over the budgeted amount for the project. Roll call, please.
Keith Parker. Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yeah.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Motion passes. Next is, bid for Inmate Healthcare. They were in your packet. Also, I emailed a digital copy out for the bid. Sheriff Davis, would you,
Big Sheriff Ross.
Sheriff Ross.
I've been here 8 years, John.
That wasn't a.
Been called a lot of.
I on his behind, he has been at the doctor all night.
It's been a long day, Sheriff.
Yes,
And
sir.
you've been through the whole thing on this, District 4 bill. You understand.
I can make this, sweet, or I can make it whatever, however y'all want.
Sweet space.
Short, sweet,
Sweet, good.
we had two bids, the one company didn't even bid for the right amount of hours, they were trying to cut us back on our, nurse hours. And, Fast Access, bid, was cheaper with the nurse, and when you look at the whole big picture, Fast Access gives us a lot more benefits, it saves us, some money all throughout the year on some things like that. And, my recommendation is go with Fast Access.
Okay, so you're recommending the Fast Access bid?
Yes, sir.
Now, the other bid was lower, but they're offering less hours on the
Yes.
weekends?
Yes.
Okay, and it's right in the same money, I mean, when you look at it.
Yes, it's, and when you look at the big picture, they're bidding different, average daily populations,
Yeah,
and that can get more expensive on us a lot quicker. And plus, there's some things that we can explain if y'all want, but right now,
all right,
I'll answer any questions, I'm not trying to short.
you need to, I
And
do
we have
have,
the doctor and, plus, Fast Access here, sir.
I do have a commissioner on the board who, does work for Fast Access and has a conflict, is that correct, Christie?
Yes, I
So-
do have a part-time job, so
So that would be a conflict on that commissioner's vote, so you just abstain.
I'll just abstain. Just mark me abstain.
If it gets a motion, do I have a motion for, the bid for healthcare,
I'll make a motion.
for fast access?
Fast access.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yeah.
Christie is abstaining. Kelly Morgan. John Kipinger.
Yes.
And Samantha Trent.
Motion passes, all the final details y'all need to get together and make sure on the final documentation. Let's see. Bids for inmate food services. Sheriff Ross.
Thank you, Commissioner Bivens.
Got it right.
We only had received one bid, and I've been in contact with the company in Kilwell, and, they're actually saving us a little bit of money, even though they're the only bid. And my recommendation is I'd like to see Kilwell get the bid.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion. Hillville.
Second.
Have a motion by Harden, second by Davis, Mush Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. That's, we're coming to that, let's see, different include, let's see, next is a school bus purchase, and Dr. Jones, are you still in the room?
Yes, sir.
All right, your recommendation, I know we discussed, and I should have gone with you earlier and tracked this down, but, there might be an issue with us going ahead and voting on this tonight, is that correct?
Yes, so when we applied for the lease, and Catrice has been helping, with this a lot. When we submitted it to the auditors, the state comptroller, they sent it back and said we couldn't call it a lease, we had to change the wording to a capital outlay note. And so she has resubmitted that for us, and we're waiting on their approval. They said they would quickly turn it around, but we're waiting for them to say, okay. We've gone through the process of getting 3 different bids or quotes for the interest rates. We're just waiting on them because we changed the name because they told us we had to. But, I mean, well, I was gonna try to get you to approve pending, but Catrice, brought up a good point that the comptrollers will probably not take an approval before their approval. So, we don't really have a choice but to table that.
Timeframe wise,
Uh,
how is this gonna affect you on the deal?
It takes, a certain number of months to get the buses, but the biggest problem is securing buses because they sell as fast as they come up, Charles McClure, has some connections and found these buses for us. But, I mean, we're gonna try to work it on our end and try to use some money from, fund balance or ESSER or something to put a down payment and secure them so that we can come back. It's nothing that anybody did wrong, it's just, again, the comptrollers fine tuning. They did this last year, where we didn't have to have, quotes for interest rates last year, and then they said we did, so we had to kick it back. And now they've changed it from, a lease to a capital outlay note.
What I was wondering if a month's gonna kill the deal, and it's something you need, what I was wondering about was, recessing instead of adjourning the meeting tonight and resuming 2 weeks from now. But would this kill the deal if we don't do that? And that's what I'm worried about, you losing the deal.
Yeah, I'm worried about it too, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know everybody's schedules, I hate to be that kind of inconvenience, but 2 weeks would be great.
It'll be up to the majority of the commission.
Yes, and I understand it.
We'll address that.
You can't do that, because everybody has their own life and schedules.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank Okay, number 15. We're already at 15, that ain't too bad. It ain't good. Okay, town hall meeting follow-up, and this is Commissioner Brooks.
Here again, I'm Barney Ken talking, yeah, we had, questions, lots of questions, we got several answers. I think we had a guy, Jane, that lied to.
Oh, yeah.
I kinda felt like it's telling us what they wanted to hear, and that was the case with some of them.
Yeah, I specifically asked that Stewart starting point of the race, where it was gonna start, where it was gonna end. He said, oh, it's gonna start passing on the right. So, run the whole room. Started at the beginning of the Forest Service. I even drawn him a map in Bush. Does it go through the gate, up over the mountain, down across Gun Branch, gate go past this gate right here? No, it's not going right there. We're gonna start on top of the mountain past it. That's the first lie. That man burns my soul. Anyway, he lied to me there. Blocked the way in all day, couldn't get to a funeral. This is just on a practice run. They need to be, a different approach to this or something. It's not working out. First off, I don't like being lied to. That is number one out for me. So we need to have another meeting with this man or something.
Yeah,
So
we need to
can
decide
that, like at the last.
Yeah, we need to have one up here so
Okay.
everybody's aware, and then one down there because people's
Yeah.
job and stuff, so.
Yeah, he needs to be called out on this. He don't need to be sitting back, putting whatever he wants in the papers to make it sound like everything's okay, because it's not. You know, and he just, for some reason, is making it where it seems like it is, and that needs to be corrected.
Well, it got to the point, remember I said it sounds like y'all are just telling us what we wanna hear?
Right.
Because every answer they gave was like perfect.
Mm.
And usually when every answer's perfect, you know, they're not being truthful. And, you know, we noticed that, and it come to find out they wasn't being truthful, so,
But my question is, and
Oh, I'll be glad to.
not being ugly about this or anything, this is a true question, sincere question. It ain't our land, so
Right.
what can we do?
Right.
If we're 192% against it, it ain't ours, so
Well,
is raising hell just for us to look good? or
they take
what?
our opinion in consideration about the issue in the next permit.
Yeah.
That's why we have town
Well-
hall meetings.
I mean, you think they'll take our voice into consideration?
Absolutely, he said he was, he said that went way into it. So,
I mean, cause that's good, I mean, that's why I'm asking this, I mean, because
he said that at that meeting that night, when he explained that to us,
Yeah,
so.
well,
I think it does go a long way.
I've had several conversations with Philip. He's not issued the permit for September,
no.
It's
no,
not
neither
an
is
issue.
mine. But,
which means that's still up in the air, right?
yeah,
Yes.
So when there's problems where this man's lying
yeah,
and they're obstructing people's private property,
oh, yeah,
okay?
well, now
it
that,
still comes
everybody
into
can
play,
do something
Even in
about
their
it.
decision of
Yeah.
approving it. As
Yeah.
far as the roads and stuff, they wasn't torn up, to my understanding,
Yeah.
even though it was raining. But this is a practice run, of 7, 8 cars, ever how many they had there.
Yeah.
Not
Big
running full
difference.
throttle, not, keeping it under control, making it look good. They just learning the ground.
I
Yeah.
think there was some issues with the road, I
But
know
they
they
did-
slowed cars down.
But they did sling, stuff up the side of the road that I know agitated Phillips' boss.
Yeah.
Okay, so even with that being said, it's not a surefire thing for the rally cars. They're not in.
Right.
There's still some issues and mountains they gotta climb. First one, stop lying to us and get us, if we're gonna do anything involving our county, get us into where we can benefit from this thing.
Right.
With this panty footprint stuff around for Hamilton County is
Yeah.
on my last nerve.
right,
And I will say with what Shane's saying, so Stewart, he'd set up, he and I, we went, he and myself and him and a few others with the rally. Let me tell you exactly when it was, give me just a second. That would have been on April the was good that, you know, he came into the office and sat down, as he said, Robbie, I'm glad you opened your door for us to sit down for the first time. I said that, and this is the way that it should have been. You know, to sit down and, you know, as we pull maps out and to be able to talk and to, you know, look at some different things. Just like I've told some on the commission, you know, if this is a go, you want to be able to say, okay, here's what we have in mind. And there are things that I have discussed with them about, and I know a lot of people may say, well, what about this, what about this, what about that? Well, it's part of that you don't want to, because if it don't happen, then you've got that already there. But you also don't want to be sitting back, and then if the permit's issued, you've got 6-8 weeks, now what are you gonna do?
Then you ain't got no time to build, you know.
Correct. And so,
And it may be to that point, no, I don't interrupt you, but it might get to that point where it's gonna be issued.
I talked to him about giving us a timeline too, on what the permit issued.
Correct.
So, I think that'll help when we find out up or down.
right, and you know, and that was another thing, like,
About planning.
being able to sit with Stewart, you know, to tell him, your next trial is on one of the only few weekends for the bear hunt.
Yeah, that can't
Fire
happen.
truck trials.
That is absolutely out, no.
Correct.
No.
And then, you know, and he was, and they don't understand, you know, in their mind, they thought, they thought bear hunting was, you know, a guy goes out and kinda walks through the woods and finds a bear and he comes back out with it. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. These men work and breed these animals for years and years to get this pup to what they want. And then they've got a short window to get it ready to go hunt. I said, you know, you'll take a group of bear hunters that may turn loose $100-150, and a good dog won't live to be 3 or 4 years old. They dedicate their life to this. Well, then he turned around after he went back and he says, you know, we're not gonna look to do it this weekend. And I was like, that's wise, that's showing. And he said, you know, we didn't have a clue, Robbie, till we sit down and started.
Yeah.
And like I
If he's
said,
being
Even
truthful
though, even though
Correct.
he said.
though, they're
in
just
the
telling us what we wanna
newspaper-
hear about all of it.
Even though the man said in the newspaper that he was going to take away any hunting seasons from the locals, well, he still had it through youth turkey season.
Correct.
And even though that what he's putting in the paper, people in Chattanooga or wherever that's not into our area, they don't know our seasons or whatever on our WMA, they still screwed it up. He still lied, that's number 2 lie.
So to go back to trying to get a piece of the money, you know, to see what they bring to the table. I do know there was just a couple of businesses that mentioned interest in hosting that block party, if we get to that point. If that's
Yeah, I
something
mean,
that we decide to do.
Like you say, we gotta find that window of when that approval's going to be discussed amongst the Forest Service. We need to know when that is, so we know what we need to do as a county for our county. We don't need to be sitting here at the last second and, you know, be, you know, handcuffed. Hopefully it don't happen, but again, that's my opinion. But if it does, we need to prepare and do the best that we can for our county so they can make the most money that they can make.
If it's going through, there needs to be a set retention for county services, period, come in. Whether it be
And that's-
680,000 or whatever, there needs to be a retention amount set forward and
To
paid
make sure we
prior
get
to, so that it doesn't turn out like it did in 20.
Yeah, I mean, they were supposed to fix the roads again, I can go over in 2002 today. And they say that wasn't the same affiliation,
But it's.
may not have been the same organization, but Stewart was at both of them, and he had something to do with both of them. So, and to me, they're,
He's calling the shots in both of them.
yeah, so you got him here, getting to do what he's gonna say in 2002, what in the world makes you think he's gonna do it now? He's not. Here comes line number 2, blocking road, here comes line number 3, messing up our hunts. You know, I can go on and on and on. This man's gonna have to straighten his story up and get it right with us, or we're not gonna get him off. That's just the way it's gonna work.
So what are we looking at date wise? What do you think, Shane?
When they have it up here,
We need to find,
I might have 2, one here and one. You're the one that's got a schedule, your work schedule.
oh, unless it's this week right here, the commission week, I'm off for 7 days, okay? So outside of that, I'm off on Mondays and Tuesdays, the other 3 weeks of the month. So the 3rd Thursday, I've got 7 hours, so I can do it anytime.
Anytime that week.
with everybody working and things of that nature, and I made sure to let him know that, you know, we had an events committee, that worked hand in hand. We just got done with, you know, an awesome rodeo. And he said that whoever that, you know, you as a committee want to, because he did want as much community involvement.
Right.
You know, do that, and we discussed different routes to where it does not just go up 64, to Highway 30, down Highway 30 and back to 64. We discussed routes, and that was part of what we done, is we went around the county, you know, to look at different things, to have different stations, and there's a whole nother line there, but
Yeah.
we spent a pretty good while together.
So like if it is approved through Forest Service, I mean, maybe we can get something set up on somebody's farm, something of that nature where, you know, people can set up hot dog stands and t-shirt things, and, you know, the community, don't matter who you know, print, I love racing on the shirt, don't matter, whatever, sell it. You know, who cares? What's something you can make money with. But everybody's gotta have that opportunity to do that if it happens.
Correct.
I think that's the purpose of that block party.
Right.
I've got a good friend that just got back from Finland, and the lady that she went and visited in Finland said that she was coming in for this big race. I said, you gotta be kidding me. She said, no, I'm telling you. They said that. She didn't even mention it, because she said, I didn't really know nothing much about it. And she said, we'll be in September, whenever.
And that's interesting,
Yeah.
when the permit's not even issued.
Exactly, but they're
So that
telling.
goes to where he's
Right.
lying to the papers.
Yeah, that's what.
I was also
Now, that's a
told,
fact.
you know, he said he beat us over Arkansas and somewhere in Mexico.
Yeah.
I was also told that we wasn't their first choice, but they didn't have no luck to call them other places and ask why they weren't having them there.
Yeah.
But they act like they chose Polk County, but from what I understand, it got down to Polk County.
Yeah.
So, we're not gonna check into that too, them other couple of towns.
Yeah, we need to set it up pretty soon, we need to talk about it.
So is that the week you're looking at from Wednesday to Wednesday, you think?
Yeah, but Monday or Tuesday prior to that would be her, this next month. Right here, I'll be working, so.
If we got anything else on this, if not, I do have, two requests on that bill. We have one on this, race.
Do you wanna do that? So you wanna tentatively do May 8th and 9th? I mean, pick your day up here.
Yeah, May 8th and 9th, is that agreeable?
You want me to 2 days meeting?
Yeah, it's gonna be
One
2
up
days.
here, one down there.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna be a week meeting.
7 o'clock up here on the 8th, 7 o'clock down there on the 9th. Does that work?
Yeah.
Good.
Is that good?
That's good.
Good.
Good for you.
I might not make I'll be here today.
Anything else on this?
What time do you wanna start that interview process on the 18th?
On 18th, that's the meeting day. You got, right now you've got 7 or 6 applicants. I think there was 2 that came in late. You won't have time to interview 6 people, and you're gonna have more than that. I know 3 others that showed interest, so.
May 18th is Coffee Person's graduation.
Wait, I mean, we can
Yeah.
start at 5:30.
May 18th is graduation
We
day.
will be having.
Coffee Basin High School.
We will be having the meeting, let's see, 18th, it goes 1 week past, so it'll be the 4th Thursday.
The
that week.
25th?
Sure will, but Shane, Tuesday, are you off on that Tuesday? On Tuesday.
I will be.
Kid is
But I'll be on a plane
commission.
back from Florida, so it better be late. I'll make it to class.
Seven?
Yeah, 7 should be fine.
So we're looking at the 23rd, is that what we're looking
Good, that'd be on Tuesday.
All right, the next commission meeting will be May 23rd, 7 o'clock. Courthouse in Benton. Is everybody clear on that? Next commission meeting, May 23rd, courthouse in Benton at 7 o'clock. And that's because of graduation coming up.
Oh, on county.
Is that right?
I ask a question?
Yeah,
You were talking about the 2 weeks.
I'm fixing to bring that up here in very shortly, very shortly. What's the feeling on the commission instead of adjourning tonight, that we recess for 2 weeks? Well, actually, we'll make it on Tuesday, and here in 2 weeks, so that, we can deal with the buses. Is there a problem with that, to recess instead of adjourn, that way there's not double pay for this meeting?
So it'd be in after.
Does that fall back? Yes, ma'am. Would be. All right, hold on just a minute, guys, let me get the date.
the day you're talking about?
Let's see, just a second. Let's see, well, 2 weeks is, 2 weeks puts it down there, doesn't it?
Are we looking at the fourth?
Yeah, that may, that's right, it has to be up here because it's continuation of this meeting. The location cannot change.
Yeah.
So it would be up here.
Wait a second.
Is it?
Oh, for the bus.
7 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 7
It'll be the same time, it has to start the same time, so it'll be May the 2nd up here, and it's a continuation of this meeting. And if by chance the state does not get back with us with the appropriate, whatever, then we'll just adjourn before we start the next commission. Okay, I have a request for 2 suspensions tonight due to time-sensitive material. One is a request from the sheriff's office, and it deals with a grant that has to be turned back in and signed before our next commission meeting. The other is for surplus property from the road department, which he needs to get advertised before he has his sale, which he will be able to do before he waits for the next commission meeting.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Have a motion by Brooks, second by Crampton, to suspend the rules for these 2 items. Any discussion? 2/3 majority requires 6 tonight. Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Okay, first thing is sheriff, you still here?
Yep, he's standing by.
All right, if you don't care, just read that.
Quick and painless,
No, the 42 page. I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, we put in for the grant through the state, we received it, $350,000. We're actually gonna be able to replace 4 of our air conditioning units, for the, hot areas of the jail. We're gonna get the transport SUV for the jail. The huge washers and dryers that we have, 2 apiece, we'll be replacing them, and also a full body scanner for, inmates when they come in. And it's all, it's, reimbursement money, never been up, there's no match.
And you're just needing a vote to authorize, the acceptance of the grant, and it is, payout and then drawdown, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, okay. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion to authorize the acceptance of the grant money, and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan. John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Motion passes. Next is the resolution, and this will be, 4, 4?
4-3.
4-3. 4-3-23. And this is, surplus property. He gave it out tonight. Hey, David. Yep. Would you read this?
Oh, well, if I could find it.
Here.
Here we go. Whereas the Polk County Road Department has equipment deemed unusable and repair parts have been obsolete. Whereas the status of this equipment deems the department to declare it surplus before the county legislative body. Whereas the Polk County Road Department submits the following items to be deemed as surplus by the county legislative body in regular session April 2023, with the intent to be sold at auction held at a later date. Whereas the Tennessee Code denoted by it be TCA 12-240 reads, The county purchasing law of 1957, property that is declared surplus, obsolete, or unusable must be disposed of by the purchasing agent either by sale, at auction, or competitive bid. Now therefore be it resolved by the Polk County Commission meeting in regular session this 20th day of April the 23rd, April 2023, at the Polk County Community Center in Ducktown, authorizing Polk County Road Superintendent Roy G. Thompson Jr. to sign any and all documents necessary in his capacity as the Chief Administrator Officer of Highways, along with a designated agent to faithfully execute documents accordingly to transfer ownership of the following equipment for sale. A Dodge.
You wanna just include the 21 listed items?
Okay, this includes 21 listed items.
Now, if you wanna read all those.
No, we're good. I'm good. If everybody else is good, I'm good.
And we've had some things come up on surplus property, and just to note, this one, because it's under 131, it is a little different than 101. When 101 does it, it actually comes back to the county executive or purchasing agent under code for the disbursement. This one, according to CTAS, the roadman can actually do the disbursement of it. So I just wanna make that notation, because that actually come up, and I messed that up on one of your papers here a while back, Ms. Rogers. So, I just wanna make that notation. Do I have a motion on 4-3 of 23?
Make a motion to approve.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush
Yes.
Davis. Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
And Samantha Trent.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. And,
I have a question.
yes,
Is there any way that we could look and see if we are getting new biosolids? Because we have a lot of truck activity hauling this stuff.
county executive, we followed up on that, and I did talk to him the other day. Do you wanna give that, explanation that was given?
It was, so what I found was this was permitted through TDEC, and so it goes back through to the TDEC office.
They issued them another permit,
Now, their permit was still standing.
so is this new stuff? Because he told us there wasn't gonna be no new stuff. Or is this what's been over there?
I'm not 100%, but it's my understanding that he is still working off of the TDEC application that he had.
Cause he said that he would use what was left over
They
there
did, they
and
did.
not
Sure did.
get any new. Is there any way we can check that to see if he lied to us?
Anything would be through TDEC. So if TDEC does approve it, it goes back through to TDEC, Tennessee Department of
But
Agriculture.
then I'm sure their records are just like ours, open
Correct.
record. So we will send in a
Should be able
record
to.
request
Yes,
for it.
I would like that because, if he's lied to us, then we need to start that again. Because he told us he wouldn't be bringing that, especially with it getting hot.
Hey, John. Pool bids.
Yes, one other thing on announcements and statements, I understand, is Jeff here from Polk County News still? Where you at, Jeff?
Right over in his corner, John.
Well, where you at? Sorry.
I
You did put the, pool, RFPs in the paper.
The RFPs went in the paper last week. I've had some people inquire.
Okay, the only thing, and apparently we weren't, it wasn't really clear, I know some of us had talked about it, at length, is the due date for that RFP. We were looking at about 3 months for it to come back in, to give everybody actual time and us to send out heavily to the different groups. Is that something that you can put in there and with different,
I
due
just
dates?
get it straight from Robbie, he writes it.
Okay, so I didn't know
Yeah,
who it.
it was convened to us that I'd got a rough draft and said this is what was needed. My office, we put all the legal into it
Okay.
to make sure that it came back that we did not discriminate and those things like that, but it was never, I didn't know if it was something other that needed to be, so that date that was set, yes, that was set by me because I did not know, but I don't care to rerun it again. As well, we put it in, it took a follow-up week because I had some stuff and I was out, but it did hit Lynn's as well. It was just a follow-up week, but y'all tell me what date you want it run to, won't be a problem at all.
July, we pretty much.
Yeah, we have to get out first, too.
And then,
What about the first Monday in August?
First Monday in August.
Well,
We know
by the
by
time
the
the first
time
call
we
comes in, it's gonna be, I mean, it will be for next year, I don't see any way around that.
Darren's supposed to,
You
is
can
it
never get them to do it next year.
Darren?
and
What day's good for you? Whichever one you say.
Okay.
It's coming up 90 days, I guess.
90 days.
so that brings me to my next question because Mr. Treese will tell you, we run low, so we have to put it in, we have to pay for every week, and what does it run? Water,
1 week,
how much does it run a week?
how was the cost?
Yes, sir.
It's going how long, I don't remember what exactly. I can find out.
Pardon?
I can find out.
Well, I didn't know because that's something other that we always run into, so if you want it ran multiple times or multiple weeks, you know, we'll just have to have some more fun with it.
We just
We
need.
do a budget,
That's what I was saying, I just didn't know if you want it one time to go that long, or you said advertise heavily, I didn't
So
know.
we send it out too,
We want
don't
it
we?
one time.
Send the packets out, send bid packets out to
Yes.
certain groups?
We want it one time in the paper
Businesses.
with a new date, and then I'll pick up some copies, make digital copies, send it to all the commissioners, and we'll start sending them themselves after that comes out. We'll start sending them to anybody that, we'll put it on Facebook,
So
we'll put it on.
so make sure I get my days right, because the July commission meeting will be on July the 20th. Is that correct? So, was the reason I asked is because I have to have it in your packets by the 12th, so the RFP opening will be Monday the 10th at noon.
Monday the 10th. 10th of.
July. So
Is that
that
good?
way I have
Good.
to get it, in your packets.
Thank you, Brooke.
And then like Kelly was asking, so what we do is we put it in paper general circulation, Walter and Glenn both, they put it, hits the World Wide Web.
Right.
Because I've already had people from Canada that wants to know the more information, and all that I had was to put it back in to the specifications.
Right.
Another
As
thing
is,
that
as was.
well, another thing that I have added into them is that somebody has to make an on-site. Because if not, what you'll have to happen is you'll have companies that are from
Yeah.
wherever, and that's what they bid on.
Right.
That way, when somebody comes on site, you know who's been coming, you know kinda who's looked at it, and you have those things. But then as well, to set up somebody that can be there, you know, to let those people in. I don't care to, but, you know, May, June, July, you're getting into a real busy time. I mean, for me personally.
We'll find somebody to get up there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying in addition to that, to save on the newspaper running, if that was gonna be an issue.
No, I
We
just
could get
need
a
to go in
list
there one
out
time.
and send it out to businesses as well, and that helps with the bid process on the college side.
So we'll run it in both papers one more time, we'll
No,
write.
no,
the
change- I'll
change
change that
date,
date.
I'll send right to the change date, and, is there anything else?
One other quick thing, we didn't have budget meeting, so another thing that we've been doing is health insurance. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 or 6 copies for the commissioners that so choose with not enough for everybody, but we will get more of those. And we're looking right now at a 3.57 total increase. It started off at 18, 20, 16, so, it came down to that. If you have any questions going forward, please contact me, let me know. But everything's there. Right now, we are at a 3.57 increase over the current. We are still in negotiations with dental, but right now, it was at a 15. So these things are all working their way up and coming down. Of course, those of you all been on the commission for years and years and years, those of y'all been on for a little while, you know how it works. We start off at one point, we go back and forth, we get to a point, and they say, well, this, let it go to where it does not go out to bid. So once you give that, they will be on the agenda for next month's meeting. I honestly and firmly believe this will be my 4th, 5th time with this. as long as we can stay in and around this 3.5%, we need to do it. I also want to bring to your remembrance, last year, we started off, and we ended up with nothing last year. So, and I know that a lot of our employees got raises. This wasn't much more than what the raise was, and some of the questions, and if you have any of them, I think that we just keep it like it is, and the county absorbed the 80, and our employees the 20, so that way everything just kinda equals out. I don't think that the employees are to have to look to shovel in anymore, so, that's my opinion. And I know some of the other office holders, I won't put Jackie on the spot, but I know she feels the same way, because we don't want to for our employees.
Absolutely.
It's hard enough now, so, but if you have any questions, please call the office, reach out to us, but this is going on for a while, but it's not really now.
Is Davis gonna come, or is this just, we're just gonna look at this?
So,
Is he still, he's not still there?
Well, I think it's Insurance Incorporated, is it not? Well, I know they
so,
combine.
I moved our insurance, health insurance provider
Right.
back a couple of months ago. The reason why I did is because it's something other I know Commissioner Brooks has talked about. You're never gonna save any money with health insurance, it's gonna be what it's gonna be when you get to the pool. The only way we're ever gonna save it is if you have a partner that's willing to cut their share of the profit. And they were willing to cut their portion. And so whenever they cut it, that put an actual savings to the county. They went from, I can't remember what, we were down to like 7% from 17 or 18% of what we get. So that was an actual savings that we got. So Davis Morlock is who we have our buildings and all of our, equipment through. So Davis Morlock with Insurance Incorporated is who we have now as our representative. Now, Davis has said, how deep do you want me to get? He is gonna be on the agenda, and it's gonna be, this is a recommendation, and let you vote on it. If he can stay at 3.5% or lower, there's no need letting him, I mean, everything's the same, and we're staying at a good rate.
I was just asking him, Davis was gonna be here, that's all. It's okay.
So it will be on the
Either which
agenda.
way.
It takes this commission's approval to, and then of course that helps y'all to set the budget, because then you'll know that this is gonna be your rate, 3.5% increase on insurance.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to recess?
Make a motion to recess.
Second.